DeepSeek, the AI platform that's taken the world by storm, is now under fire for a major security lapse. Researchers at Wiz discovered the DeepSeek left a critical database exposed, potentially compromising over 1 million records, including user data, API keys, and system logs. While there's no evidence of malicious access, the ease of discovery raises serious concerns. This isn't the first time an AI security breach, and experts warn that as AI advances, so do its vulnerabilities. What does this mean for the future of the AI security? Well, let's dive in. Welcome to episode 1795, coming to this Thursday, January 30th. I'm your host, Todd Cochran, ready to deliver your tech news and information fix. A quick shout out to our incredible sponsor, GoDaddy. Score exclusive deals and discounts at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all of you, our fantastic listeners, you are the heartbeat of the show. If you want to support the GNC mission, head to geeknewscentral.com/insider and become a GNC insider. We're live and lit thanks to modern podcast apps. Don't just listen, experience the show live by grabbing a modern podcast app at podcastapps.com. While you're at it, check out the full Geek News Central universe at geeknewscentral.com. If I get the right screen up here for you. Check out the entire Geek News Central universe at geeknewscentral.com. And of course, you'll find all of our partner shows, tons of content, and more tech goodness. Stay in the loop, follow or subscribe via your favorite modern podcast app. That's the best way to do that. And of course, join the community. Don't forget to sign up for a newsletter and even more insider scoops. Have something to say? Join the conversation at geeknews.chat, or you can email me directly, geeknews@gmail.com, or at geeknews on X. You can even catch me on Facebook. Wow, that was kind of a rough start to the show. That's all that happens when you have one screen not ready to rock and roll. But hey, more importantly, as we continue on here and get into the tech goodness, don't forget about our sponsor, GoDaddy. And if you're ready for some fantastic deals, get exclusive savings right now, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Do you want to start a website, a podcast? Our codes make it easy and affordable. Grab GoDaddy's economy hosting for just $6.99 a month. That's a full year of hosting with a free domain name, professional email, and an SSL certificate. Or grab and click the promo code for all the deals, including our WordPress fans. WordPress managed hosting is just $12.99 a month, which includes a free domain, professional email, and again, that SSL certificate. Do you need a domain name? Get yours for just $11.99. And if you're testing the waters, you can always try GoDaddy's Website Builder free for a month. GoDaddy Website Builder in the personal, business, or business plus plans, again, is available as a 30-day free trial. Of course, I use all the GoDaddy products and services, and your support keeps this podcast alive. Use our code, save money, and back this independent team of creators. Share my deals with friends and family, because every single time a code is used, it supports the Geek News Central ecosphere, our writers, and everything that's going on. Of course, get the latest deals again at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Hey everyone, how you doing? How you been? I'm be honest with you, I am this week has just been gone. That fast. It's been gone. 4 interviews this week. Meetings, planning, execution. It's just been nonstop. Yesterday, I basically at 5:30, I just kind of almost semi-collapsed. And yeah, it is what it is. But I think I hate to say it right now, but the highlight of my week was ordering groceries tonight, because I get groceries, my refill of food. Oh my gosh! So hey, living the life, and but the weather. I'm being a bit of a hermit, to be honest with you. I really, really am. Hey, let's go ahead and get into the stack. I do want to thank one of our insiders before we get into it, Michael Pay, for a Ohana $5 per month donation. Thank you so much, Michael, for your ongoing support of the show. It's greatly appreciated. But as we talk about DeepSeek, and I talked about it enough last week not to really, I guess for a better word, you guys heard my opinion. I said you shouldn't be using it. And here again, just this situation with it having a fairly substantial security hole and leaving crucial databases exposed just shows you they're not really paying attention. And it just makes you wonder, what they're just running on such a tight budget that they don't have enough people taking care of things. It's hard. Security's hard. We get reports from time to time at Blueberry on security vulnerabilities. And to be frank, we appreciate those that come in from security researchers. We really do. It helps us a great deal. And and we pay them for their bounties. But yeah, it's just an ongoing process for sure. Amazon Prime Video has ads now. There's a way to nix the ads, but you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay more. And paying more always sucks. So if you want to shut off the ads, go to Amazon Prime Video website, click your profile icon in the top right corner of the page, click account settings, go to the ad free button, and then start subscription. And as you probably already know, Prime Video is included in Amazon Prime, which costs $14.99 a month or the $139 a year. But it's going to cost you an extra $3 now per month to get ad free. This is bullshit. This is what we paid for Amazon Prime, to be quite frank with you. I get my value out of the shipping for sure, but come on. Do we really need to do that, to be honest with you? I'm getting an error over here. What's going on? Maybe it's bad weather out or something. The bandwidth. YouTube is complaining about not receiving enough uplink. So sometimes this happens. That's we're running on Starlink. We're at the end of the month, close to the end of the bandwidth allowance. But yeah, if you want to shut that off, it's going to cost you an extra $3. I don't watch enough stuff up at Amazon Prime to even be worried about it. But one thing that has made really headline news today is AI edited images and movies could still be copyrighted. The U.S. agency advised, and they put out some new guidance here. And it's not exactly probably what most everyone wants to hear. But the report argues that copyright protects the original expression in a work created by a human. The report is the second in a series from the Copyright Office, with this edition specifically focused on what it's called copyrightability of AI-generated and AI-edited images. The office first issued guidance around 2023, followed by a series of online listening sessions for the public to contribute their thoughts. The arguments and recommendations of these reports aren't law, but they give us some insight to how the agency is viewing. One key thing that the copyright highlights is the level of human contribution. So that's interesting, meaning how hands-on a human really is during the creation process is important, because the report correctly calls out a lot of popular editing software have recently added AI-powered updates, things like de-aging in film post-production, photo editing, features that clean up unwanted objects, etc. That kind of assistive AI is different than a person writing a complex prompt for an AI image render, and as such, the use of that AI-powered editing program shouldn't prevent filmmakers or photographers from retaining copyrights of their work. There's an important distinction between using an AI tool to assist in creation of works as a stand-in for human creativity. The report says, on the other side, AI image prompts that I create for my episode are not copyrightable, nor would I want them to be. The same prompt can produce endless and different outputs, meaning AI has more involvement in the act of the creation. So, a bit of a hodgepodge here at this point for sure. This is interesting. The Video Game History Foundation Library has opened its archives for the first time. And so today, the Video Gaming History Foundation announced an early access launch of a digital archive. Wow, including magazine catalogs, behind-the-scene content. And it's completely free. The VGHF has more than 1,500 searchable video game magazines, which are all, of course, out of print. A particular point of interest among these files is what VGHF calls the Mark Filtman papers. Filtman is a retired game producer with a career spanning multiple companies. Fans of Myst will also find over 100 hours of footage from the series production. The series, including the FMV content, much was planned for inclusion in the upcoming The Myst documentary. So, unfortunately, you can't play the video games in the archive. U.S. copyright law makes sharing those files a murky area. Now, here's what's interesting. And something that I have been working on. I have literally 3 or 4 boxes of, not boxes, but storage containers full of high 8 videos. My high 8 video camera, it's been a little funky. It's not working real good. And I want to get these things digitized. So what I did is I ordered a new digitizer off Amazon. It was about $130. You stick a USB stick into it. It has a little screen, a little Chinese knockoff thing. And then I went on eBay, paid more than I wanted to for a high 8 player. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run all the tapes through this high 8 player. Then I'll put it back on eBay and just resell it. I think I paid $300 for it, but those things were crazy expensive in the day. And I've got one of 2 that I could find on eBay that was in good shape coming. So I've got one coming to be able to digitize. So my goal here is it'll probably take me several months, but I'll be able to digitize all these high 8 tapes that I have. And then my plan, I've got to figure out a plan on where to put them. Digital archive somewhere online. I could make a separate family YouTube channel, make them all private, only give the family access to them. I just don't know. I don't know what I don't want something I have to pay for, but I also want stuff that will last the test of time. But the problem is, many of these videos have, I'm sure going to have music in them. So that's not going to work for YouTube. Where are you now putting all your digital media, videos and stuff, besides a hard drive? That's always the first option. That's where everything's going to go initially. And we'll go into my RAID. But, the way I look at that, that could be a ticking time bomb. Everything's fine as long as I'm alive. The backup, I would keep the RAID running and there would be no issues. But what happens if, something happens to me? I've got passwords shared with the pertinent family members that would need to be able to get into that stuff. But, what do you do? What do you do with all this digital media now? And we're just creating tons of it, right? You think about everything that's on our mobile devices, a gobsmacking amount of media. I'll probably have one hard drive that I'll buy a big one. And probably, I don't know if I want SSD. I'm not sure yet, but something that I can put in a safety deposit box somewhere. If the building burns down, it'll be safe and be saved. But I would like something in the cloud, but the cloud always costs money. I don't know. This is an issue for all of us. So what are you doing these days? And maybe it's AWS cold storage. Maybe that's the key. But Again, I'm going to have someone in the family that is savvy enough to be able to, if they ever want to extract that stuff from Amazon cold storage, to be able to do so. The company that Jeff Bezos founded has gone to court to keep the newspaper he owns from finding out too much about the inner workings of its business. This is weird. Amazon is suing Washington State to limit the release of public records to the Washington Post. From a series of State Department of Labor Industry investigations, Amazon, Project Cupier, satellite facilities in the Seattle area, lawsuit filed this week in King County Superior Court in Seattle, says the newspaper on November 26 requested copies of inspection records, investigation notes, interview notes, complaints, and other documents related to 4 investigations at the Redmond, Washington facility. It's not an unusual move by the company, and it's in some ways, it's a legal technicality. Amazon says it's not seeking to block the records release entirely, but seeking to protect from public disclosure certain records that contain proprietary information and trade secrets. There's a fly flying around here. Good Lord. Must be one of those real ugly ones. You know, those of you who live where it's winter, you understand those type of flies. The lawsuit cites a prior situation in which Amazon Department of Labor Industry similarly worked through the court to respond to Seattle Times Public. So basically, Washington Post wants to know stuff about Amazon. And even though Jeff Bezos owns Washington Post, Amazon, the company, doesn't want to give that data to Washington Post. Very, very, very interesting. Hey, lots of stuff going on with people and their JOBs. Google is offering voluntary exit for employees working on Pixel Android. Oh, what's going on here? Well, it appears the team responsible for Pixel hardware and Android software merged into one division. And Google today announced a voluntary exit program for employees working in the Platforms and Devices group. Sent a memo this morning about the voluntary exit. The program applies to U.S. employees working on platform devices, which includes Android, Auto, TV, Wear OS, XR, Chrome OS, Google Photos, Google One, Pixel, Fitbit, and Nest. Google has many people around working in these products, but today's announcement is just for those in the United States. Meanwhile, this is not a company-wide offer that applies to search or AI. Separately, software and hardware are already two very large organizations with some overlap, so they're just trying to get rid of extra people here. So we're going to see a lot of this, and could see some of this going on in the federal government next week. UPS plans to slash. Boy, this is a big news. UPS plans to slash its shipping business with Amazon by half. Wow. It's the latest of several moves by carriers to pull away from the online giant. UPS is continuing to withdraw from its business relation with Amazon by the second half of 2026. UPS said it will cut its shipping volumes for Amazon by more than 50% under the company revised arrangement. Amazon is our largest customer, but it's not our most profitable customer. Business with Amazon accounted for about 11% of UPS revenue, total $91.1 billion. Amazon was a larger share of UPS revenue during the peak of COVID at 13%. So although Amazon does rely on outside companies for some shipping, those relationships sometimes turn tenuous. And so including the USPS. And I'm starting to see now stuff from Amazon where they say, hey, would you like to have a carbon-friendly delivery a few days later? And some stuff I don't care, so I opt for and they gave me like 72 cents or something like that in credits. Google search new ask for me. This is kind of wild. Google's search new ask for me calls local businesses for availability and pricing. Now imagine your phone rings at your business and Google's going to use AI to call on your behalf. So when you search for something like oil change near me or ask for me, a card will appear, let you enter the details about the service you're looking for. In the case of mechanics, Google start by asking what you're looking for: factory schedule, maintenance, oil change, tire rotation, balancing, tire replacement, blah, 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 blah. You then enter the deals about your car, year, make, and model, when you need the service, next week, soon as available, and then it calls. For a nail salon request, Picking manicure will let you drill down into basic dip, powder, French, acrylic, gel, shellac, and it will call with a natural sounding voice of a local business and generate summary price and availability that you'll get via text or message after about 30 minutes. What are you going to do when Google calls you? That's a question. What are you going to do when Google calls you? There's a song, right? Call you. I can't remember. You guys are going to help me. Interesting, yeah? Maybe this is a little bit of an answer to some of the things I've been concerned about. So the Musk-Trump or bromance, according to Yahoo Finance, has turned X debt from burden to an asset for Morgan Stanley. A lot of banks underwrote their debt that they had with X. But, helped by Musk's singular relationship with President Trump and the tech mogul's newfound proximity to the White House, Morgan Stanley is discovering that investors are drawn to the debt of the company as it leads in marketing a $3 billion offering. Potential buyers already got a peek at X Financial, seeing signs of a rebound. And as an added bonus, investors will gain exposure to the company's stake in Musk's artificial intelligence project XAI. The pitch includes results that show an adjusted version of X 2024 profits or earnings. So, interesting. Interesting that they've got a bump here. Now, we all know there's craziness going on in D.C. And by the way, condolences to everyone that was in that horrible airplane crash yesterday. Very, very sad. That type of thing should not happen anymore. It really, really, really should not. It's just crazy. But obviously, JFK has been in Senate confirmation or whatever it is, and it's all over social media. It's just fireworks and all kinds of craziness. And one thing that I would find interesting, I don't know a lot about him and what he wants to do. And, I know he's got this thing about making America healthier and, having right ingredients. And, like I heard something about French fries in UK has 3 ingredients, but potatoes, salt, and oil. And in America, there's 13 or 14. Anyway, I haven't been following it too close. But what if he comes in and bans all television advertising of pharmaceutical? Many of you that live outside the United States, you guys don't get hammered by pharmaceutical ads. Here, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, it's just this onslaught of pharmaceutical ads. It'd be nice if he banned all that. But the problem is, not where the problem is, I don't think mainstream media and regular television will survive without that advertising. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars. What happened with my TV? Oh, just come back on. So it's an interesting thing that could happen here. A House bill is aimed to better protect financial institutions from ransomware attacks. This legislation would direct the Treasury Secretary to deliver a report on public-private coordination to combat attack on the financial sector. I'm surprised they're getting anything done, but this bipartisan pair are seeking to improve private-public coordination. So it's called the Public and Private Sector Ransomware Response Coordination Act. The legislation, both from members of the House Financial Service Committee, comes as global ransomware attacks jumped 67% in 2023 to how much percent? 67%, from 2023 to 2024. And 65% of financial institutions globally report experienced ransomware in 2024. Wow. So bad actors are out there. Under the bill, the Treasury Secretary report would require detail the current level of public-private coordination. They need to just fix their security. Banks holding our money need to fix their security. Absolutely need to fix their security. Why do you need the government to do that? I don't understand. The FAA, is without a leader right now. And Michael Whitaker stepped down as the FAA administrator on January 20th. And after clashing probably with both President Trump and Elon Musk. So the new transportation secretary, I guess, was asked about it today. So is the FAA administrator, how does that appointment work? I don't know who hires him. Oh, I'm looking right here in the article. His resignation clears the way for president to name his own replacement. He said this morning, okay, so he's tapping Chris Rochole, a top executive from an aviation business association, acting FAA administrator, but provided no details about a permanent replacement. So I wonder if this person has to be confirmed. I have no idea. So I'm going to have somebody acting at least while this aviation incident's going on. I don't know how fast they're going to get in place, but this transition of government, when things are delayed, when Congress takes so long to get people in place, this is what happens. Now, not the accident necessarily wasn't caused by that, but there are rumors that there wasn't enough air traffic controllers there. But time will tell on any of that. Layoffs hit Sirius XM again. 100 employees were laid off this week. And they're looking for another $200 million in extra cost savings. They're still bleeding money like crazy. So the layoffs are not over. At the same time, Elon says Tesla will launch a robotaxi service in Austin this June. Tesla owners will be able to add their own vehicles to the fleet next year. So this ride-hailing service, I guess, is a test. Time will tell. I have it in here somewhere. I guess the earnings call wasn't so good either. Tesla's earnings call was pretty disappointing, pretty dismal. Considering the way the economy is, I can't imagine anyone's earnings calls are that good. And you look at winter cost. Oh my God. Winter energy bills. And I'm sure they're straining, folks. It says 62% of the United States adults are getting killed. More than 1 in 10 U.S. adults are already behind in their energy bill. And, the colder it gets, the worse it is for everyone. Winter temperatures dropped across the country, and extreme cold has been pushing up monthly energy bills. In December, the monthly inflation increase was attributed to a rise in overall energy costs. An exclusive CNET survey found that most households expect to pay $688 on energy bills over the course of the winter months. Mine's about $1,000. My gas bill for the winter season is $1,100. That's a natural gas bill. And I consider myself having a relatively small place to heat. So how about you? What is your energy bill? And those of you that live in the South that just got whacked, what was your impact? Not surprising at all, CNN has announced major layoffs to modernize business, quote unquote. They're laying off 6% of its staff, or approximately 200 employees, in an effort to modernize its business. So they're getting rid of folks because their numbers suck. They're not doing well. And they're doing a bunch of digital restructuring. And of course, one of their big talents just quit because they were putting him in a late hour. On more happy news on the tech side, Comcast just gave 6 cities an early look at lag-free internet. I've never heard about this. This is called L4S. L4S is an open standard that aims to significantly reduce latency online, and Comcast is among the first to allow customers to use it. So what is L4S? Short for low latency, low loss, scalable throughput. L4S wants to make this internet feel faster, not by upping bandwidth, but making data transfer more efficient. Right now, your ISP sends data to you in the form of packets. These are small chunks of information. In a worst-case scenario, have to queue up to make their way to you. L4S adds an indicator to the packets that are currently stuck in a queue, allowing the network to address the congestion, perhaps outright end it. Essentially, the idea is clear the roads for internet traffic so it doesn't take as long to get to you or your home. This should make video chats feel a lot more like sitting across from a coffee table. how to use L4S. L4S is open source, so Comcast doesn't have any special rights, but actually using still involves getting a bunch of big companies to agree, hence the slow rollout. It requires app developers to support alongside internet service providers. That means that Comcast version is starting with just a few use cases. L4S will work with FaceTime, NVIDIA GeForce Now, and supported apps on both Meta Quest headsets and Steam. The later two companies haven't exactly published a list of which apps are going to work with L4S. For instance, if you're on a FaceTime call with grandma and grandma lives in rural Indiana and uses DSL, is people still using DSL? No amount of technical wizardry on your end is going to make your connection better. Similarly, playing a game alongside a teammate who doesn't have 4S might end up having to carry a little bit, or if the game server are hosted by clients. In other words, it's going to be early days. It has to be enabled on both ends, per se. So we'll see about L4S. Researchers, this is cool. Researchers developed a drone with teeth to help solve global issue plaguing our ocean. And this is one of many that have come out of different types of devices that's going to capture microplastics from water. And it's going to capture from 1 millimeter? From 1 micrometer to 4 millimeters, which is no bigger than a sesame seed. This approach limits clogging while achieving over 80 recovery efficiency for plastic life expanded polystyrene, polypylene, and polyethylene, those found in styrofoam takeout containers and plastic grocery bags. So they're going to put a bunch of these drones in the ocean and let them troll for microplastics. Sounds like a good idea. If you're watching the sky in Michigan or in Illinois this few days ago, a Starlink satellite broke up in the atmosphere. So apparently, how many did they bring down? They were decommissioning. Online tracking showed Starlink satellite 5693 entered over Wisconsin before traveling over Illinois on its descending path as it was breaking up in the atmosphere. So we'll probably be seeing more of these as SpaceX deorbits either bad satellites or older ones. This will become more of a thing over time. I saw a tweet where the president asked Elon Musk to bring the two astronauts that are at the International Space Station, been stuck up their home. But Commander Sonny Williams and Butch Whitmore both basically did a spacewalk today. And they removed a broken antenna and wiped the station exterior for evidence of any microbes that might be still alive after launching from Earth and escaping through vents. But they've been told to bring them home. So I thought that was already scheduled as sometime in February or maybe early March. I can't remember the date. So I don't know if they're coming home any earlier, but they're prepared to bring them home with the rest of the crew that went up there. Tesla's we talked about it a little bit. I'll have the link to Tesla's financial report in the show notes. But how many of you went and tried to get an NVIDIA RTX 5090 today? Apparently the lottery for these video cards drove people crazy. Japan, everywhere. There was no fights, but people went nuts. And some of them are now available on eBay for much as $6,000. They cost about $2,000 normally. List price of RTX 5090 is $2,000, 5080, $1,000. Early listings for 5080 showed multiple models listed at $1,300 directly from Best Buy. So these prices are not going to drop soon because these things are going to be in heavy demand for a long time. People want to run their own AI models, and this card is going to help with that. NordVPN is a new protocol designed to evade VPN restrictions. They announced a new protocol called Nord Whisper. I think we've heard about this coming. It's specifically designed to make browsing more accessible by getting around network restrictions. I've never run into a Nord issue. And matter of fact, when I was in the Philippines, I was connecting to the United States anytime I was connecting to my local bank, because my local bank was blocking traffic from the Philippines. It was smart. They never gave my VPN any issues. I did have a couple of authentication issues with other financial stuff, even using a VPN. And what I found was if I connected to one in Seattle and I was having issues, if I connected to one to Chicago that's closer to my home, I had more success. So this is something I see in specifically financial stuff, as you would expect. Criminals are abusing top-level government domains across multiple countries. This should not be a surprise at all. A significant number of .gov domains are used in open redirect tracks. Brazil is the leader in .gov domain abuse. In the United States, .gov domains are among the most frequently exploited. How are they even allowed to buy them? That's the question I have. Shouldn't they be limited to a proven government agency? Makes you go, doesn't it? Did I just close a browser? Let me see. Did I close one? Yes, I did. SpaceX launches from Florida and retired a first stage booster because of extra power needed. Basically, they launched a Spanish communication satellite to geosynchronous orbit. So the Falcon 9 single booster was sacrificed. This particular booster marked its 21st and final launch. And but again, they took off all the re-entry fins and the titanium legs, and I'm assuming it burned up and dumped in the ocean somewhere. But they needed all the fuel they could get and couldn't get back to land. This happens once in a while. Mexico has asked Google Maps not to rename the Gulf of Mexico, but Google has said that as soon as the United States map people update the name, they will update it. Now, Gulf of America is only going to show up for those of us here in the United States. For if you live in Mexico, Cuba, anywhere else, it will still be called the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico argues the U.S. cannot legally change the Gulf name. You know, this is really about getting around drilling. It really has nothing to do about anything else. Vodafone demonstrates world's satellite video call with a standard mobile phone. It was made using Bluebird satellites from Starlink rival AST Space Mobile. Now, I don't know anything about Bluebird at all. So where did they do this? The company used partner AST Space Mobile Bluebird satellites specifically designed to transmit 4G, 5G mobile broadband signals from space. In the demonstration, Vodafone Group chief executive explained the Bluebird satellites can connect directly with a regular smartphone, then transmit the signal back to a Vodafone terrestrial network via satellite link. She then took a call from an engineer in a remote mountain region of Wales with no cellular coverage. So, okay. And we know that this is continuing to happen here in the United States, just a matter of time. Grubhub is bringing new delivery robots to college campuses. So if you've got a student, you got a child attending college, Grubhub is partnering with AV Ride, an autonomous robot delivery company, to expand its offerings on college campuses. And they've got 100 robots on OSU, Ohio State University, the Buckeyes, but have plans to expand further. So, yeah, I wonder if they're going to help them save money on their food delivery. Stock disasters everywhere. Microsoft stock slumped more than 6% on disappointing revenue outlook. The software giant topped Wall Street's fiscal second quarter estimates, pointing earnings of $3.23 per share, or $69.63 billion in revenue. The decline came after Microsoft Finance Chief Amy Hood said the company expects revenues for the current quarter to fall short of analyst estimates. So they're making money, but the stock still gets hammered. Nothing new in that regard. This is a weird one. Zuckerberg is all giddy about the return of OG Facebook. What is OG Facebook? He outlined this priority for this year's getting back to OG Facebook. Does that mean you're going to stop spying on us and all this other stuff? So, per made his official transcript, he said, I think there's a lot of opportunity to make it way more culturally influential than it is today. I think that's sort of a fun and interesting goal that will take our product development some in interesting directions that we maybe haven't had a focus on as much over the last several years. Yes, it's all been about suppressing. So I don't know that I have anything much more specific on this other than this is kind of be one of those focus areas. My focus areas for this year. I mean, I think it's an investment area and something I'm going to spend time on. So, I do miss the original Facebook days when it was an actual social network, when I could see my friends, when I could see what they were talking about, instead of being a news feed of ads and bait click and all kinds of BS that I don't want to see. Is it too late to go back? A lot of people have left the platform. Young people have left. They don't care. I don't know. And is this because of the current administration? Is this the reason they're going back? Remember, those of you watching, I just licked my finger and holding up my finger in where the winds blow. And even Bill Gates was talking about this today, about being, quote unquote, oh, times have changed because everyone now is the current president. So, this last one is weird. All of us, every single one of us, have took a scoop of something, soup, food, it came out and it's too hot, and what are we doing? We're blowing on it, right? Or if we stick it in our mouth and it's too hot and we're, right? We've all done that at least once, guarantee. And many of us have burned our mouths because we put something too hot in our mouth. Well, get this. NASA's X-ray telescope Chandra discovers that black holes blow on their food to cool it down. Yes, I said that. Jets blasting from supermassive black holes cause gas to cool and fall towards the cosmic titan in a cosmic feeding process. This is just too weird. The supermassive black hole food cooling process was discovered by astronomers using NASA's Chandra X-ray telescope. The team found when jets launched from supermassive black holes strike hot gas between galaxies and galaxy clusters called intra-cluster medium, they carve out large cavities and cause things to cool off. Who would have known that a black hole need its cosmic food to be cooled off? Geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Don't forget about our sponsor at GoDaddy. Don't forget I'm on X at Geek News, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy for the sponsor link. Haven't got a report from GoDaddy yet. I've been watching my email, so we'll see if it comes in. I definitely want to thank all of you that are insiders or those of you that have been using a modern podcast app found at podcastapps.com. My reigning favorite still is Fountain. Please, are you listening? Give it a try. Load it on your phone. Subscribe to this podcast. We're learning some new cool things we can do. And we hope that you guys will participate and help me get the word out about new modern podcast apps. It's really, really important. And the value for value model. And if I provided value today, I hope you'll consider giving value back to the show in your time, talent, or treasure. It's my pleasure to bring you the podcast. I want to thank you so much. I'll be back with you Monday for another edition of the Geek Central Podcast. You all take care. We'll see you back Monday. We're on the march to 1800. Next episode, 1796. So we'll be able to mark on the calendar when we're going to cross over and breach the 1800 number. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on Monday.